The day is September 14th, 2024, and me and my friends are in a Discord call, one of them speedrunning Minecraft. It sounds like fun, and I figured I would join in. The only issue is the complexity behind full Minecraft speedruns. You see, a regular run requires technology so advanced for the average player like me. There are end portal calculators, multiple world generators, and worst of all, luck enhancers. I mean, some people had those. The concept of a speedrun did sound fun considering I like doing speedruns. There aren't any on my channel because I don't usually do Minecraft speedruns, but games like Super Mario Bros. On the old NES console are a classic speedrun for me. Okay, so I play an emulator, Nintendo, don't kill me. Now Mario speedruns aren't that long, but Minecraft ones usually are considering how much practice you have. Thankfully though, Minecraft is a massive game with a huge fan base. People have created their own new categories, all achievements, all bosses, etc. Now this is where the fun begins. Back to present day in that call, I was browsing for a quick minute to see what I could do, and then I found Netherite armor speedruns. For those who are confused about how the speedrun will go, let me establish some important notes. The speedrun is a set seed world on 1.17 only, in case you were surprised. Attempting this in an RSG or random seed generator would just take too long, and it could not be done in 1 minute. As expected, I had to do some research before getting into this category since I can't just wing it. So just like school, after spending a good couple minutes looking things up, I found this video by Wilsey titled Full Netherite Armor Speedrun in 1 minute. World Record. SSG. Now you might think, why choose this one? I mean, right above there's a 32-second one. Well, first of all, we're going to get to that run later, but I also thought it'd be easier to start off with a route that is simple to understand and can easily be improved. The 32-second run will have to wait. The one I'll use now shows a pretty easy method to do a quick run, and here's how it goes. Once you spawn in, you will most likely see a rune portal and a chest. A bit further from that is a tree. All of these are going to be useful in the overworld part of the run. The first step is to quickly open the chest and take the axe and proceed to break the chest to get everything. Now you'll need to fill the portal with the 2 obsidian you have and light it. Once the portal is complete, there are still a few more resources you need before we go into the nether. You need to run to the tree and get 4 logs for a crafting table, and you'll also have to make a boat. That will be important later. After the boat is created, you'll have 7 planks left, and you're safe to go to the nether. The nether is where things get pretty complicated. You see, there are 2 bastions, that's right, dose. Minecraft generations are strange, but it sure works in our favor here. The safest way to enter the first bastion is to break the block on the roof and land on this platform. Then you'll be greeted with a 37 block fall, and that's when you need to use your boat to avoid fall damage. Once you land, you need to quickly run and break the 2 chests in the middle platform, preferably fast enough to not get killed by piglins. And once you do that, you have to run to the other bastion by digging a tunnel through the nether to get there. Just like before, you need to break the 2 chests, and now you have all the materials to craft a smithing table and the netherite armor, and in only 1 minute and 14 seconds. Now it was my turn to do what that run achieved, except we're going 14 seconds faster. It does not sound that hard, but for an already short run, I'll have to try, fail, and try again. I don't know how long this will take. These are a few runs I did for practice without truly optimizing anything, and it wasn't a bad start. 116 W. My hopes of getting sub 1 are for sure high. Now that I'm looking to enhance my runs, I felt as if my overworld pacing was a bit slow. Considering that it's the first part of the run, it was thankfully easy to improve. However, the overworld comes with an insane amount of luck, which is kinda why I don't like normal speedruns, but there's nothing I can do about it. The first instance of luck starts as soon as you spawn in. Even though the run is a set seed and the world remains the same, that doesn't dictate where I will spawn. Instead, there's a range of points that I can spawn in a certain radius. Unfortunately for me, it's very rare to spawn next to the portal. And in most probable cases, I'll spawn next to a tree further down, or just in the middle of the field. Now spawning a bit further away is not a run killer, as long as it's not in the fields, but what is a run killer is the different tree generations. Remember I said the world would remain the same because it is a seed? Well, I lied. Allow me to bring your attention to this tree right here. Let's call him Groot. Sometimes Groot is feeling good and decides to pop in the world. However, other times, he does not show up anywhere. My Minecraft generation is weird at times, and it's also unexplained, so I can't give a good reason on why this specific tree disappears, but it does cost us a couple seconds. Another aspect of the overworld was crafting, and to get straight to the point, I'm slow at crafting. Bro, I crafted a quick tip for all the people watching this who want to speedrun, or casual players, is you can hover over the crafting box and hit a number on your keyboard, which will put the corresponding item in a number slot into the crafting table. Makes sense? Let me just show you. With this inventory hack in mind, it definitely speeds up the overworld process, even if it's just a minor change. Attempt after attempt, successful or not, I was improving at the overworld. My best time to get into the Nether was 15 seconds. And even when I'm not getting a personal best, I was getting an average of about 17 seconds in the overworld. After only improving one element, I reduced my time by 20 seconds from starting. Looks good for me, right? Well, the overworld is only one of 3 parts we need to talk about. How do you think I even made it to the end of the run? To answer that question, boats. Trust me, I did not like those. So currently, it's getting harder to lower my time. I've gotten good at the overworld, and as for the Nether, there isn't really much to change. Going back to what I mentioned at the beginning, there is a boat clutch in order to make a safe landing into the Bastion, and that was costing me most of my attempts. Imagine this, you got a good overworld, and you're prepared for the Nether, and then you fail this boat clutch. Well, unlucky for you, you can no longer practice past this moment, and you're going to have to reset around 25 to 30 seconds. The boat clutch was not only costing me runs, but also costing me practice I could have in the endgame. So first, let's explain why this is so hard, and also answer the question of if there's any way we can lower the current time of 105. Like all Minecraft clutches, they seem pretty difficult. The boat is different nevertheless, since you need to go 1. Place the boat, and 2. Click on it to enter it. After that, you'll have to leave fast enough to not get killed by the piglins, but don't leave fast enough to where if you leave, you'll just die, because apparently that can happen. And we're also going to get to the piglins later. The piglins should get trapped in the boat though, so it's not that hard. But the boat clutch was incredibly hard, and honestly, it shouldn't have been. I mean, basically all I need to do is spam click when I land. What's the issue? Let me show you what I went through for hundreds of attempts. Spam clicking doesn't work. I guess it technically does, but the success rate seems drastically low. Up to this point, I've spent 7 hours of attempts, and I would estimate around 75% of the attempts end at the boat clutch. That was the major choke point since there was nothing I could do to avoid it. It was the only way I could fall and save myself from fall damage. I mean, you can't use water in the Nether, so you can't do a bucket clutch. I could possibly ride the boat down to the chest instead, but that would just cost me too much time, and it kind of felt like that was it. I reached a deadlock in the sub 1 journey. If my chances of getting to the final part were low, I wouldn't be able to practice and improve that last part. Therefore, this boat clutch was costing me a couple of seconds in the endgame. After running into a dead ends, I guess I would have to try 100 times harder. Remember the 32-second run I mentioned at the beginning? It's time to watch. It's time to pull out the final weapon and see what the professionals are doing. The new ladder strategy reduces the overworld time by a bunch. In fact, all you need to do in the overworld is break the chest and finish the portal. You see, in the Nether, you take 4 logs from a tree and craft a crafting table and sticks from it and then make a ladder. That last part is done in the span of about 4 seconds. Undoubtedly, this new ladder clutch is way harder than the boat clutch, but it also halves the current time I'm at. So what are we thinking? My 2 options are to continue the boat clutch with a high chance of failing, and even if succeeding, still fall short of sub 1 with the lack of endgame practice, or attempt the ladder clutch. A higher chance of failure, but a better chance at getting a sub 1 since the overworld is faster, and a bad endgame wouldn't cost me the milestone. Out of desperation, I spent 2 hours strictly practicing the ladder clutches. Nothing happened. The ladder was a lost cause. I was planning to dedicate a whole section of this video with the ladder clutch and how I would have saved my run. You know, it makes for a good story. We found a solution, but no, it was not a solution. And I guess it makes sense. I acted on the ladder clutch from stress and desperation. The greed of getting sub 1, I was willing to pull something almost impossible off. But as I mentioned before, I'd probably have better odds doing the boat clutch than doing the ladder clutch. That's what separates dedication from gambling. See, I do both. The boat clutch sucks, don't get me wrong, and a 30-second run sounds really appetizing, but would I gamble all of my time for that, or should I dedicate work into doing something that has proven to work? You guys can guess which option I chose this time. A lot of you may be asking, why didn't you practice the endgame? You said you practiced the ladder clutch, so why couldn't you do the same for the endgame? I don't know. I thought about it, but it was a much harder to set up, since for the ladder clutch I could just give myself infinite ladders and throw myself off. Practicing a certain part of the run is difficult though, since you need to get the same resources, which means I need to go in creative and break chests, put myself in the next bastion, and if I fail, I die, and have to do that setup again, and it just sounded hard to do. I was already dying from the inside for practicing to the point where I didn't feel like it, so my skill in the endgame part of the speedrun is not that strong. Also, time check, still at 105. If we're able to clutch up and get a good endgame, we can save about 5 seconds. Cause like I said, I'm slow at crafting. So if we just speed up this part like we sped up the overworld, we should have it in the bag. One thing you need to know about mobs in the Nether is that they spawn randomly, and they can just kill you. And there you have it, sub 1. This would put me like top 40 at least on the speedrun list. So if you want to try it, go for it. What will I be doing? Well, I haven't touched the world since. I've been editing this video for like a month. Ad rates are low in January. I tried to get it up December, but it didn't work. But hit a like, subscribe, and thank you for watching. And maybe next time, I'll go for record.